Listen to the rock. Listen to the rock guitar as I just cut it off. Hey guys, we can only do. And first of all, where did Zargo go? He just got up and left. So that's great. Today, JC Zargo is going to be doing this via hologram. And then spread. We're going to talk about Thursday night football. It's our Thursday night thoughts. And then the boys both want to talk about the Chargers Broncos. They usually fight with each other on the show. And we got Lions, Dallas, and then the Philly game as well. Hi, Spread. How are you?
I'm doing great today. How you doing, Holden?
I'm hanging in there. You'll never guess what I got to do after this.
Are you going to tell me on the air or off the
Yeah,
air?
I'll tell you on the air. That's why I brought it up. You're going to laugh your ass off.
Okay, what is that?
All right. I've got to go get a headshot for our thumbnails for YouTube, right?
Okay.
And I had Casey, my lovely future wife, take pictures, and apparently the thumbnail guy said they were awful. So I got to go get headshot, and I didn't want to pay like $200 because I'm only going to use it for this. Take a guess where I'm getting my headshot.
Super
JC Penney's.
Really?
I didn't even know JC Penney's was in business anymore. Yeah. It's like $15. I'm sure they pull someone out of like the shoe department to take my picture, but I don't care. I just need something that looks different.
If it goes well, maybe I'll do that because no one seems to like my picture.
Yeah, you do look like a serial killer. We've talked about it a lot.
I don't understand where you guys get that from.
Yeah, look at Zargo. I mean, no, you're shaking your head. You don't think he looks like a serial killer, or do you?
No, I'm shaking my head because this is an ongoing thing for years, and Spread refuses to acknowledge it.
Yeah, but he brought it up. Like, I didn't even want to bring it up. He brought it up.
Right. He's that aware that
I would not have brought this up, Spread, if you didn't bring it up.
Yeah,
okay?
That's true.
I mean, this is on you, pal. This is 100% on you, and hopefully I never have to show this again. But there we are.
It's going to be a constant source of befuddlement for me.
See, to me,
I don't understand what screams murderer about that.
This
is
okay. This one isn't as bad.
A nice beard, a nice haircut. I just got a little hair.
You either want to bang someone, or you're like looking at a woman as she walks away, saying, "I could take her."
This isn't even the worst one. The worst one is the headshot that he uses on the cover of that he uses on the cover of NBA Rundown.
Oh, really?
That one I think is worse.
Fred, I will pay for your $15 at JCPenney's. Just smile.
Right. And I'll match.
Smile. You don't have to look intense. You don't have to look like you're seducing anybody.
Oh, man.
I'll match, so we have two to choose from.
Okay. All right. This is Thursday Night Thoughts. So we're going to talk about the Thursday night football game and then 3 games on Sunday. And we got the Seahawks hosting the Niners. The Niners are 3.5-point favorites now. The total in this game is 49. So the 3.5 basically staying where it was. We had 3s earlier in the week. It's 3.5 now. And then as far as the total goes, you can find 48.5s and 49s. Actually, this touched 49.5 on DraftKings earlier today. But depending on which way you want to go, over or under, you can get different numbers there. Spread, I'm going to come to you despite the fact that in today's free Nuke the House article on nukethehouse.com, you don't have to pay for our site, even though you should. Zargo put a few bets from this game in there, and I tailed a couple of them, and I put a same game parlay together. So don't be bad at this, Zargo. You're a great bettor. I need you to stay hot. All right, Spread, what do you like from this game this evening?
This is a tough matchup, Holden. I think you can make great arguments on both sides. Normally when I come on these shows, I'm all about the Thursday night unders. However, I think this is one that could potentially go over. Lines around here, though, have been tough to go over, though. Most of the stats are for 50 and over, but 49, we're getting pretty close. And I know a lot of people have just been hammering these unders on Thursday night, and it's winning. But I don't think this is the slam dunk that I usually do on the under. On the side, I'm leaning towards Seattle. I can't wait to see where JC went. I actually did not read his article, so this will all be news to me, and then I'll check it out when we're done.
Why do you not help the team out? And the first thing you do is go to Nuke the House for a free article, Spread.
You're right. I should have done that because I was getting a workout in right before the show, and so I wasn't reading.
Okay, but anyways, I'm sure you've got some thoughts on this game, so let's hear them.
Yeah, I do. First of all, it's a great game for props because we don't know where the ball's going. right? You do a Vikings game, Justin Jefferson's going to get a lot of targets, right? You do a Giants game, Malik Neighbors is going to get a lot of targets. Here, both teams have multiple options that are really good. So I don't think the props are as easy for the bookmakers to line, which means looking at pregame, or especially what we do best here at Nuke the House with the in-game betting, seeing who the opposing team's offensive coordinator is choosing to attack is going to be right for profit. When I'm looking at this game, however, I lean towards Seattle from a football perspective, Holden, but you know what's really tough for me here? San Francisco's 5-game winning streak against the Seahawks. They've just had their number so far this season. So that's why I think that money is continuing to come in. You talked about seeing a 4. I'm seeing 3.5 offshore. But my guess is if you like Seattle, go ahead, hold off. I think it will touch 4 by the time they kick off tonight.
All right, what do you got here, Zargo? You got a lot of bets, actually. Now, I'm a little bit worried about your big bet of Jordan Mason over 82.5 yards because it's the second most bet prop tonight. But God, how does he not get there? He has been so damn good, and the Seahawks can't stop anyone on the ground. Tyrone Tracy went over 100 last week.
Right. So, I mean, this one, this is an interesting one because it means a lot more than you think of what at face value, right? Because shockingly, we enter this game. San Francisco's in 3rd place in their division. Seattle's in 1st place. And when you look ahead on the Niners' schedule, it only gets tougher from here. So if they want to continue to contend in this NFC, they need to turn things around quickly. And they can't afford, number one, to lose to an inferior team like Seattle. And they definitely can't afford another division loss. The numbers I was kind of looking at to hone in on this one, of course, I always like to look at the defensive rankings. 49ers pass defense ranked 12th in the league. They're giving up less than 200 yards a game. Rush defense, 9th, allowing 110 yards per game. And they're tied for 6th in the league, which 8 takeaways, which is huge considering that Geno has the 2nd most interceptions. So interception props, certainly something to look out for. Brock Purdy hasn't been that smart with the ball recently. So interception props, something to look at. You can go each quarterback to throw an interception for like plus 210. You can just go over 1.5 interceptions in the game at plus 135, something to consider. But what really brings it home for me on San Francisco, apart from this game just being a must win, because, so what if it's a must win? Doesn't mean they have the talent to do it. Looking at Seattle's defense, Seattle's pass defense has been stellar. They're allowing 180 yards per game, but this is kind of like when we talked about the Saints on Monday night, Holden. You look at the numbers, they look good. This looks like a solid team, but it's easy to post numbers like that when you played Skylar Thompson, Bo Nix at the beginning of the season, Jacoby Brissett, and a neighborless Daniel Jones. So I don't think the Seattle pass defense is as strong as the numbers would suggest. I think Brock Purdy's going to carve them up. So that is my only kind of second thoughts I give to the Jordan Mason or props, is that they might just kill them in the air, because I don't think the Seattle defense is as good, pass defense is as good as everyone thinks. But either way, 49ers should eat tonight. They're going to turn their season around. And honestly, if they can't pull this win off tonight, it might be time to start fading them. It might be time to look at some San Francisco to miss the playoff type props and see what kind of numbers are out there.
Yeah, they haven't won a division game. They haven't won a conference game. And the Niners, I mean, let's face it, they're straight struggling right now. What do you think of laddering Mason tonight? I know you liked him at 90 yards. Would you go higher than that?
I just didn't really see the payout being like worth it. Or I guess not the payout. Obviously, the payout's worth it. It's great plus money, but just the risk reward of it, because I just think there's a good chance they just hammer it in the air. Like do you look at the numbers and you just assume the 49ers are going to carve them up on the ground, but I don't see why I can't do it by air as well. So that's kind of why I topped out at 90, especially considering if you look at Jordan Mason's history this season, his rushing yards, he had exactly 100 against Minnesota, and then he had 123 against New England. So it's just kind of like he's not, the type of guy that's consistently doing 100-yard games. So that's just kind of why I had reservations on it. If you want to take the risk, I wouldn't blame you. I just felt like the payout, it was worth it at 80 plus.
All right, couple things. This was during the Pete Carroll era, but 2022-23, they did play a wild card game. These two teams did. So over the last 5 games, over the last 2 years, the Niners won all those games by at least 8 points by a combined score of 148-72. Does that have anything to do with tonight? No. Does it scare me that the Sharps are on Seattle and the public is on the Niners? Yes, but the Sharps aren't always right. So hopefully, I think we're a little bit chalky here tonight. And I would also say that normally we're not a very chalky operation. But again, if you're back in the Niners tonight with that 3 and a hook, that's something that the Sharps are going the other way. And the same thing with Jordan Mason, although I don't know how many Jordan Mason bettors are betting the under. It's his props just continue to go up. All right, spread one more time. Best bet for tonight? Is it just going live and trying to hit something on our show at 8:15 Eastern time tonight?
Yeah, I think that's the best bet. One thing I want to throw in on your discussion, I'm not as concerned about the Niners as JC is. They're still 4th in the NFL in net EPA per drive. Their issues have been in the red zone. So that's going to be another thing that we're going to look out for tonight when we're watching this game. And that's why I do kind of think that JC might be a little conservative, especially if he has the Niners game script to them to win, because what we're going to see the difference tonight is, are the Niners able to get things done in the red zone? I think they're going to move the ball fine through the 20s, which I think bodes well for player props, especially yardage props on the Niners side. I guess final thought, I like the Seahawks plus the points, but I'm probably one of those old sharps that always just takes 3.5 at home in a division game.
Yeah, and I don't blame you. I do not have a Niners side bet except for a Niners bet that I parlayed with a bet that's minus 189. I'm never going to bet a 189, but I'll take him on the money line. I don't want 3 in the hook. Zargo, best bet tonight. Is it Mason?
No, you know what? I'm going to go with that alt spread. So I don't know how the line has changed. When I typed up this article, though, I caught San Francisco minus 6.5 at plus 144. We love plus money here at Nuke the House. And I don't see, if this game's a sweat, it's going to go Seattle's way. I see this as either being, a Seattle win, San Francisco win by 1, or them just blowing them out. And I do think way more likely San Francisco just blows them out here. So don't take minus 110 when you can get plus money. So go ahead.
I would agree with you there. Use the stat that Holden gave, right? More than 8 points on each of the last 5 victories. Why would you not try and take advantage of that? Close game should favor the home team. I like what you're thinking there, JC.
And it's exactly like I said last week with the Arizona game. I like that 6.5. When San Francisco played Arizona, I didn't really care for that number because I'm like, either San Francisco is going to blow them out or Arizona is going to win outright. And that's exactly what happened. And, if you're going to go down swinging.
All right, guys. So we got that under our belts. Like button would be great. And if you haven't tried out nukethehouse.com, you're missing out. Now, we do have a free show tonight at 8:15 if you want to stop by for that. But last Thursday, we hit the Falcons at 4-1 to come back and win. They won. I mean, Sunday, Coop put out an 11-1 on Caleb Williams throwing for 300 yards. We hit that. Monday night was I was up 5 units. I can't imagine what Keg and the boys were up with their unit size, but we've been on fire. My recommendation for you, though, is so you get the pre-flop plays for tonight and Sunday as well as Monday. Plus, our Sunday night and Monday night shows are now free first half, but behind the paywall in the second half for the witching hour. So you're going to miss a lot of bets there. So either sign up for a free week at nukethehouse.com with the code NUKENFL, NUKENFL, or just do what everybody else is doing and sign up for the $59.99 for 1 month. And try us out. Dip your toe in the water. $59.99 a month. I mean, you can win that tonight in one night. So try us out, nukethehouse.com. Couple things in the chat. Steve obviously saw your photo and he's afraid of you spread. There is no question about that.
What?
Jabroni just throwing stuff out of left field about Tua. I like it. That's
no. It was a conversation.
Yeah. And my boy Card Addict is in the house. So that's great too. So yeah, we do bet a lot, says Nuke the House, Maddie, our marketing media guy. All right. Spread's dog or Zargo's dog?
I have cats.
Spread hates dogs.
Right.
Spread hates dogs.
I don't hate dogs.
You're
hate
a serial
underdogs.
killer and you hate dogs. Everyone knows
You hate
that.
Cats are just
underdogs.
better.
Something about spread. Something about spread.
Jabroni again. Once I don't bet you'll hit Ayuk season tonight for Fathead. So don't make fun of him for having cats. I adopted a 14-year-old cat 2.5 years ago now, and the thing's amazing. She's like a dog. I got an 18-year-old dog.
Did I say anything? Did I say anything about cats?
I mean, you said that he hated dogs, which to me says that you think he hates cats or loves cats, not dogs.
No.
If you hate dogs,
no, I'm not.
It's awesome.
Exactly. And what would you expect any less from a serial killer?
Oh boy, that's not nice. See, look at spread. Poor guy. You're making him feel bad. So bad. Do you know what? Keg makes fun of cats. They suck. You suck, Keg. You suck. Not at betting, but just
what do cats? What are so
you don't
bad
suck,
about
boss.
cats?
You don't suck, boss.
They just chill.
Yeah, he sucks.
Right? They like sit at my feet while I'm watching TV.
All
I
right,
want to
enough
go to
of the
Reno.
cat
I can leave them in
conversation.
the house for like 2 days.
Let's talk about horses and
a dog walker.
Chargers at the Broncos. Both gentlemen wanted to talk about this game. I asked them for 2 games on Sunday. They always seem to have action on the same game, one of the same games, and that would be the Chargers being 3-point favorites on the road, low total. It's actually been bumped up to 36 at a book or two. It's sitting at 35.5. Zargo, I like the under in this game. I do think that the Broncos cover the 3, if not win outright. Am I a homer? No, I don't think so. I've just watched a lot of Broncos games. So talk to me, Zargo. What do you like about the Broncos hosting the Chargers?
Yes, this is an interesting one, man. I really like the development we've seen out of Bo Nix, right? Statistically decent. I mean, when you look at that Jets game, you think that's a gross line, but hey, he helped them charge back and picked up a win. And at the end of the day, that's really what matters here. It's a divisional game. Divisional games are very weird, and you kind of can't just plainly look at the stats. You look at the head-to-head. Broncos have won the last 3 in a row straight up. I think it's going to be kind of an ugly game. I keep going back and forth on the over-under. I probably have a lean to the under. But I think it's going to be scrappy. Denver's on the rise. If you're going to give me 3 points in a game that I think the teams are well matched, I'm going to hammer. So I'm with you, Holden. I'm not just at the price. I don't like the money line. I don't think it's a high enough payout for the risk, but I'll gladly take 3 points in what should be a very close game.
You know, despite the fact that Keg hates animals and it makes him an awful person, he made a good point. He's like, what if there's a defensive special teams touchdown and then that over is cooked? And yeah, that would hurt. But I think there's just going to be so much running in this game. Peyton doesn't want to have to put Bo Nix in a bad spot. I see a lot of checkdowns in this game. And then on the other side, maybe Harbaugh adjusts out of the bye. But what do we see from him? Win a game running and playing defense. Spread. Broncos 3-point dogs at home, 35.5, 36. The total. What are you giving us?
Well, JC and I screwed this up. I was getting ready to fight, but he's with me with the Fighting Denver Broncos here. Holden, you should know this from living there. The Chargers haven't gone to Denver and won for the last 6 years.
Nope.
So this has been a tough spot for them to play. And I think that the idea of the Chargers is beautiful. You look at that roster and you want to play on Madden, it's great. But let's check out the injury report. Everybody that's anyone on this team lives on the injury report. I know that Joe Alt will return. We're still not sure about Rashawn Slater. Derwin James was coming back. Good for him. Let's see if he can make it to the full game. Herbert's not 100%. Khalil Mack's not 100%. And I don't think Joey Bosa is going to play. So this is one of these issues where the idea of the Chargers is better than the team actually is. And on the other side, Holden, and I've complained about it all year, and also in my column this week in sports betting, which you can find on nukethehouse.com.
That's right.
Denver's one of the healthiest teams we've seen in the league so far this year, Holden, and you know a little better because you know you're living there and you're getting all the daily reports. But not, I think one of the reasons this team has found success and is 3-2 so far this season, they have been one of the healthiest teams in the league. They've had one of the best defenses in the league. Currently, they are a top 5 defense in the league, and I don't think they're going to need to do much. The problem with Denver is that they're going to be terrible if they're playing from behind a 2-score lead. But as you mentioned earlier, we don't think that Harbaugh is going to do it. He's going to try and run the ball. It's going to be a fairly conservative offense. And I do believe that these Denver defenders and Vance Joseph are going to be able to dial something up to keep Los Angeles, from being able to run the ball. So in a game at 36, when we like the under, those 3 points become more and more valuable. We talked about it in contrast to our Thursday night football game. I kind of like 3.5, but at 49, those 3.5 aren't nearly as valuable as these 3 points are going to be in this Denver San Diego game. So give me the 3 points. I'm on the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, if that thing gets to 3.5, which I don't think it will, forget about it. I might double dip on it, to be honest.
I don't think it will either. I think this is going to be a really stable number.
Yeah,
it would take a huge bet or some great injury news to see that 3.5. So I think 3 now, and I don't think there's any reason to wait.
Yeah, I'm being a pussy. I should just take the Broncos on the money line, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take the points, and we'll see about the total. I still have not placed a bet on the total, even though I like the total, but I did take the Broncos +3. So for those of you that like to fade me, which has been profitable, just know that that's happening. But I do have a couple sharp guys on my side. Like button would be great. If you're watching on X, come on over to YouTube. And for those of you watching on YouTube and or X, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Nuke the House. You subscribe, and then you turn on your notifications, and you don't miss any of our shows. It's amazing. And tonight, I cannot wait. Stop by. 8:10 is the show start. 8:15 is the kickoff for tonight's Thursday night football game, Niners Seahawks. We broke it down already. If you're just joining us after the show, go back, check out our breakdown. We got one more game to talk about, boys. Zargo, I'm going to go to you here with Philly and the Browns. This, I don't know why you took this game. My sense is that maybe you'll back the Eagles coming off the bye in a game that Sirianni could be fired if he loses. This thing was 8.5 at Caesars, pushed all the way up to 9.5 over the last couple of days. So Zargo, I don't know if you got a side or total here. If you want to buy a bet on the total, it's 42.5, 43 at BetMGM. What do you got here with Philly and the Browns?
Man, so I just hate the slate this weekend, man. It's when you look at the board, it looks, you got to lean towards a lot of the favorites. And the way this season is going, that doesn't seem a smart thing, but it's one of those weeks, man. Either the public's going to eat or Vegas is going to have another very profitable weekend. So I was very selective in the bets I made this weekend, which wasn't many, but this is one of the ones where I really found value, because where are you going to find value this year? The underdogs. This is only the 10th time this season we've seen a spread of 7 or more points. Only once has the favorite covered that spread, and that's when the San Francisco beat the New England Patriots. While that it's a good stat, it doesn't bear much on the game itself, right? Ultimately here, I just think Philly is trash. I think the Browns are trash too, but I think they're not quite that trashy. Obviously, the big storyline going into this one is the Eagles get A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Lane Johnson back. But what we've seen from the Eagles end of last season, this season, this team just can't figure it out. There's nothing going well for this team. They have one of the most boneheaded head coaches in the league who can't make a good decision to save his season. I just don't see a way the Eagles pull out a double-digit win here. I don't think the Browns sniff a W here, but they'll have no problem covering a 9.5-point spread. It's going to be another ugly, gross game. Probably, I don't know. I'm not even going to take a pick on the total just because I think just taking 9.5 points this season with two trash teams, easy way to look at it. And that trend of these heavy favorites not covering will certainly continue.
Yeah, it's a heavy favorite. It's uncomfortable backing Deshaun Watson, but again, 9.5 is a lot of points. I wonder if it gets bet up to 10, honestly. I mean, it just keeps going 8.5, 9, 9.5. Does it get to 10 by kickoff, or does it go back down to 9? We'll see. We'll see. Spread, you had something in the Lions-Dallas game. We've got the Lions -3 on the road with a 52.5 total. So break this one down for us, my friend.
Yeah, we're getting a great price on the Cowboys coming off that late win on primetime against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I think that win kind of masked some of the problems that the Cowboys are having. Disappointed. I think the Steelers fans have to be disappointed that they weren't able to take advantage of that. But one of the reasons why the Steelers were so popular on Sunday night was Dallas's inability to stop the run. Now, the Steelers weren't able to take advantage of it, but let's see if the team with the best offensive line and a great 1-2 running back punch will be able to take advantage of that. And I think that they will. Some other things here, we have some trends going our way in this game, as the Cowboys have failed to cover in their last 4 home games. They were an ATS monster. Lately, that has not been the case, because we know how these trends go, Holden. People latch onto them. With the Cowboys doing so well for the last 2 years, the number was being inflated. Could be a case where it's inflated again. Also, the Lions 13-5 against the spread on the road the last 2 seasons. Where we don't want to bet the Lions is outdoors in cold weather. This is indoors or fairly indoors, and it's going to be nice warm weather. We handicap, we play fantasy. We do props by looking at the receivers and the tight ends, but we handicap the NFL in the trenches. The Lions are going to have a huge advantage on both sides of the ball at the line of scrimmage. I do not think this game is going to be close. I would bet it now. I think the Lions will continue to take money. I'm on the Detroit Lions -3.
Ooh, all right. Little Lions action here against the Cowboys in a game that you'd like to see Jared Goff step it up, is really what I need to see. But for the Cowboys, I get it. Dowdle scored a couple touchdowns, I think, in back-to-back games. The first time a Cowboys running back has done that in ages. But they really are a one-dimensional team, aren't they? Jalen Tolbert, is now the number 2 option outside of CeeDee Lamb. But CeeDee Lamb's got to get going, buddy. And I guess with the game script, you're thinking if the Lions are ahead or the Lions win, maybe it's CD week. Any thoughts on CeeDee Lamb's spread?
There's some interesting issues there. Now, did you see CD and Dak had an interaction there towards the end of the first half? And then Dak stopped targeting him. Now, let's see how long this little hubba-lub or whatever we call it lasts. But there could be some issues there. And we've seen how diva wide receivers can kind of cause some problems in the locker room. And I believe that's why the Steelers lost with George Pickens. He actually outright gave up on the field.
That's not his. That's just blame Arthur Smith. I don't even blame Pickens. Arthur Smith's an idiot.
Well, you got to run hard on your routes no matter what.
You do. You're right. They're both idiots.
So, yeah. Yeah. And I will be curious to see what happens with Pickens there. But no, I don't know if I'm going to target CeeDee Lamb right off the bat. It felt like Dak was really making an effort to get the other players involved. And we saw that Jalen Tolbert was able to make the big catch, and he was targeted on plenty of those routes. Jake Ferguson also is a great option here. So I'm not going to load up on the CeeDee Lamb props, even though I expect Dallas to be playing from behind.
All right. Very good. Jabroni says Chargers blow more than my girlfriend on OnlyFans. I dated an OnlyFans girl. Spread, have you ever murdered one?
Not yet. I mean, no.
Oh,
There's still time, buddy. You got a lot of life to live. Hey, just a real thought, a quick thought on CeeDee Lamb, Zargo. I know I didn't prep you for this. Just to get to that again, he was a malcontent for a week last year after they went 4 weeks without throwing him the ball very much. Took off from there. I think he led the league in receiving yards, didn't he? Mm-hmm. What do you think of CeeDee Lamb this week?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys. Like we just see it time and time again in this league. It's like, yeah, he's a diva. He's a diva for a reason. I mean, the dude's a stud. Just get him the ball, and he's going to make your team better, right? It's an all-around effect, right? Because teams know you're not throwing it to him. They're not going to put their best corner on him, or they're going to put one. You double team him. He's still going to make plays, and everyone gets to eat. So, I mean, they jacked it up to 82 yards this week, but
you know what they dropped it last night? MGM was at 76.5. This thing's up 6 full yards.
Wow. Looking at his touches, it might be a better way to go. 6.5. Even still, that's way up too.
Yeah. So I
don't know. I don't playing. Detroit allows points too.
I think there's a lot of people like me that are not worried about CeeDee Lamb getting involved in the game this week. The problem is I don't love how the line's gone up 6 yards, but what are we going to do?
for sure.
Who in the chat
I mean,
thinks I can beat up Holden? I don't know, Chicago Cubs fan. Good question. Thanks for wasting all of our time. We're all dumber for it.
Detroit does
anyway. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have to put them on the screen, but why not? Why not? You know, because I like the Cubs too. Let's go Mets, though. I'm pretty happy for the Mets. That's going on right now. Best bet once again, Zargo, for tonight's game. Give it one more time.
San Francisco -6.5, and no free plays, but I do got, NHL season's upon us.
Ooh, I can't wait to do. Yeah.
Last night we made our first NHL bet of the season, a +180 gem, and I got 3 plays up tonight, people.
Good. Well, guess what? We're going to be launching a live NBA betting show with our NHL guys, Zargo, in there giving NHL bets too. So look out for that within the next week or two, because we are going to be all over the NBA and the NHL as well. One more time, you want to check us out, nukethehouse.com. Sign up for a monthly plan, just $59.99. The return on investment so far is just absolutely ridiculous. If a horrible bettor can tell these guys like me and be up money, you can too. Nukethehouse.com, $59.99. Spread, wonderful to see your face once again. Zargo, wonderful to see your face once again. Go check out Zargo's article too, because he didn't only have the Niners -6.5 at +144. He dropped a whole bunch of other bets in there that look pretty sexy as well. Guys, thanks again for Thursday Thoughts. 8:10 is kickoff for us on our live show tonight. Live betting the Niners at the Seahawks. 8:15 is kickoff. Be there. We're going to try and win a whole bunch more money. It's just wonderful. We're going to go nuke the house, boys. That's what we're going to do tonight. Let's go nuke the house.